Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. My name's Eric. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I know I'm going to get a lot of heat from it. I'm going to talk about why I hate the Philippines. For everybody who's itching to write something in the comments now, please hold. Try and stick until the end so that you can hear me out. In full transparency, that's a little bit of a clickbait. I'm sorry because I'm only going to talk about specific things that I hate about the country. If I haven't lost you yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well so that you can see more helpful videos just like this one. I'm out on a trip with my family in Batangas. It's one of the provinces outside Manila, and I thought it would be fitting to start my introduction here. More than anything, the Philippines is known for its beaches, its people. So why am I making this video? Well, I decided to make the video because there's so many videos out there of foreign nationals coming into the Philippines and talking about how great the Philippines is. They talk about the beaches, they talk about the low costs, they talk about how friendly the people are. All these are very true, but I want to get a voice out there as well that kind of balances the outlook, because not everything is hunky-dory. I think I'm going to bring a little bit of a fresh perspective because I'm a bit of an insider and outsider at the same time. I've lived here all my life. I only moved out about 5-6 years ago and I traveled for a little bit, so I'm able to talk about the things that I really loathe about living here. You know, there's many good things out there, but what are the other things that you might consider first before moving in here? Alright, enough talking, let's go. Number one has to be traffic. You can bet good money that it's one of the worst anywhere in the world. Traffic has gotten so bad that during peak hours you barely move and you have time to multitask in your car, to do your makeup, to work on your laptop, to be on your phone to watch your favorite series, eating, you can be having your coffee. You can do a lot of things while you're stuck in traffic because you're not going anywhere. After you get home from work, you're so exhausted from all the time that you spent on the road that you don't really want to do anything anymore. And that spells bad for your own personal well-being, your relationships. You have to devote a lot of leeway just to be able to deal with the daily trappings of Metro Manila traffic. So much so that you don't literally want to move from where you are anymore. You just want to stay in your vicinity, because if you go meet friends from far away, then you really have to take time out of your already busy schedule just to be able to account for all the traffic that you're going to experience along the way. I tell my friends back home in Latin America that, you know, they're now experiencing some kind of traffic, but I just tell them, if you go to Manila, this is not traffic. This is just a traffic stop. It's nothing compared to what I'm used to growing up. When I came to visit last year, it was just a horror to see how slow the traffic was moving, how long the lines were in the metro stations. If it were up to me, I would prefer to bike all around the city if I had the luxury of time to be able to do it. So here, if your typical day is from 8 to 5, you have to account for a couple of hours before and after work for the traffic that you're going to run into. If you're thinking of using the public transportation system, you won't be better as much because the trains, the jeepneys, the buses, they're all congested as well. Everywhere you go, there's a lot of people and there's going to be delays. So you really waste a lot of time just sitting in traffic. That's horrible. So next on my list is population density. Here in Metro Manila, everybody in the Philippines wants to come here for better job opportunities. In very little space, there's way too many people. That's why you see condominiums everywhere, buildings with many stories, because people have to live somewhere. Everywhere you go, like metro stations, malls, cinemas, markets, restaurants, everything is congested and chock full of people. All living spaces tend to be smaller as well. If you look at an average Filipino's living space, it tends to be a lot smaller than other countries. And backyards and patios are essentially non-existent because every inch has to be used for people to live. Yeah, population density in Metro Manila has got to be one of the worst as well in the world. The Philippines as a country has over 105 million people. But in Metro Manila alone, there's more than 13 million people living here. That's a very disproportionate amount of people living in such a tiny space. Next on my list is pollution. Rivers have a lot of trash in them. The landfills are overflowing. During the day when you look up, it's darkish because of the smog. At night, you don't see as many stars, especially here in the metro, right? Because once you go out into the provinces, things are a little bit cleaner. It gets so bad that you can really feel the difference between Metro Manila air and provincial air. You got water pollution, waste pollution, noise pollution, light pollution. Don't get me wrong, the government is doing something about it. Their efforts are making a lot of progress, but it's still very evident. And the growth of the population is just making things exponentially worse. Alright, so next point I have to make is a work-life balance, or the lack of it. I could dare say that the average Filipino worker works a lot of hours, has barely enough time for themselves, for their family, for recreation. A typical workday really is not 9 hours. You have to take into account your commute on a daily basis. You spend a lot of time at work, not so much time at home. You don't spend a lot of time on yourself so that you can have more social engagements. You tend to interact with people at work or people around work. work. I worked professionally for about 5 years here. It was even worse. I was working in the BPO industry, and that's a booming industry right now. My schedule for about 5 years was from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I was kind of blocked off from all the friendships I made before because they have normal schedules. The pace of life here demands that you need to be connected all the time because of work. Your work demands a lot from you, and Filipinos are very disciplined, so when it comes to work, they take that very seriously. When an email comes in, people just have to reply right away. That's the way we're built. That's the way I was taught. We put a high sense of urgency when it comes to work matters. I work professionally here like a dog day in, day out, so I know how work-life balance suffers. That's not uncommon here in the Philippines. You see people working 12, 14, 15 hours a day. People here work on holidays 6 days or 6 days and a half a week. People working overnight. People working double shifts. Next on my list is internet connectivity. For somebody who works online as a digital nomad, it's a little bit tricky to get by. If you were to go to a coffee shop, a library, a park, or a mall, you're not gonna have very good connection. You're gonna get connections as low as 100 kilobytes per second. Yes, I said kbps because there's too many people using the connection. For you to have good connection, you have to pay premium for it. Since I upload a lot in YouTube, I have to go to special places wherein I pay a little bit extra, wherein they have speedier connections, lower your expectations as far as internet connectivity. Be ready to not have connection all the time because you're gonna go to areas wherein you're gonna have spotty connection at best. And if you're a freelancer, tell your clients that your deliverables might get delayed a little bit because of internet connection depending on where you are. So just expect that. Next on my list is everything has been commoditized. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of spending power. You could see a lot of businesses taking advantage of that, trying to squeeze the juice or every business opportunity that they can. As simple as parking, you have to pay for parking essentially everywhere. You have to pay for every time you go to the bathroom, even if it's a public space usually. You'd be surprised how many parks that you have to go to. You have to pay for a bench to sit on it. You would often tell yourself that, hey, this thing I usually get for free back home, but that's not the case here. You usually have to shell out for something. It's really understandable for the type of economy that the Philippines is becoming, so I thought it's fair to give you a warning on that as well. Next one is a fun one. You'd think it's a small thing, but it's really not. Everything is sweet. Filipinos are known for their sweet tooth. Grew up eating a lot of sweets. If you're from outside the country, you would notice that right away. Everything is just a tad bit sweeter, from the coffee to the spaghetti, bread, juice, fried chicken. Consume anything here that you also have in your country, you would definitely say that things are a lot sweeter. And that's unfortunate because that leads to the other side of the coin, which is diabetes. My family personally, we have a strong tendency for diabetes. The time I spent outside the Philippines, that has gotten a lot better. I don't consume as much sugar. Filipinos just consume too much sweets in their diet. And I'm not talking about fast food or snacks you would find on the streets. I'm talking about the typical Filipino food as well. They tend to lean to the sweet side. That's giving you fair warning for the people who would come and visit. If you're gonna spend a lot of your time here to settle down permanently, then that's gonna have a definite effect on your diet. Next on the list is personal bubbles. I just meshed some words together. It's when you're like on the road or you're just outside. Everybody's consumed in their own little space. Technology is quite advanced here because we're near China, Taiwan, Japan. The newer technology comes to us quick. Everyone has the latest gizmo. If you ride in a shared transportation, people don't say good morning, people don't say goodbye, people don't say hi. They're just consumed in their own personal bubble. And by the way, I never did that when I was younger. Funny enough, when I lived outside, I noticed people doing that. That struck me as weird, but then I got used to it. It's nice to say good morning to strangers, or at least to smile to them whenever you see them on the street. I know I'm guilty of that as well. It's just the sheer pace of life that exists here. During that little time that you have in between work, you just want to have that little space to yourself. That's your way of decompressing. The last thing you want to do is interact with another person. I know, that exists in other countries as well, but I feel it heightened, especially after I came back for some years. I feel it's gotten more developed, or gotten worse, if I could call it that. Alright, that's it. Time for comments. What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? Let me know what you think. I love reading your comments. I'll respond to every single one of them. Just be a little bit patient. If you've gotten until this point thinking that I hate the country, I don't. Just to be very emphatic about it. In fact, in a couple of days, I'll be hopping on a plane back to the Philippines. I'll be publishing this video as soon as I get on one. And you can imagine that's a decision I didn't take very lightly. I thought long and hard about it, but ever since I got back home here in Nicaragua 2 months ago, a lot of things has happened, and that's something that I really want to do. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. It's brand spanking new. Follow along in Facebook and Instagram as well, because there I post real-time stories about my travel and my lifestyle. If you love the video, go ahead and like and share it, especially to people who are thinking of going to the Philippines to settle or to travel for a little bit. That's about it. Hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Gracias y salamat. Bye. Okay. Oy mga chong, kamusta? So ni-record ko yung unang parte ng video na to mga 2 buwan na nakaraan. Nandito na ako kung saan ako nakatira sa Nicaragua, and ironic na tatapusin ko yung video ngayon at makalipas ng 2 araw lang babalik na ako sa Pilipinas. Pero ganun talaga. Salamat ulit sa panonood. Sana mag-subscribe kayo. Kita kits! Bye bye!